Taurus, welcome to your end of June weekly tarot reading. Let's just dive right into this. Do be sure to check the playlist for your sun, moon, rising sign. See what additional messages are there for you. These readings really are timeless. Okay, remember time and energy is fluid, not linear. We seem to want to think of things that way as humans. We have Bobcat Spirit. Life is a mystery. Why is that not a seven? Things like that, that should be a number seven. Sevens are a mysterious number. But anyway, there you go. Bobcat Spirit. Something wild, right? Maybe need to explore something. I don't know. Let's see. Something was mysterious. Maybe you should be a little mysterious. Keep things to yourself. We have assessing. But we go 8, 9. That's interesting. We have progression here. Assessing. That Bobcat is looking into my soul. So we have that. Looking curious. I'm getting curiosity here. Watching, waiting. Like you're going to pounce on something. Ah, that's the one. Okay, let's take it. We have not for you. Look at that. And we have a 6. I think the universe is saying there's something else. Something else coming for you. Maybe not what you expected. Maybe that's the mystery. I know. I have been really fooled, but surprised how things turn out sometimes. You're going a certain direction and you're expecting something to happen, and then something else completely different happens. Maybe that's what's going on. There's a different path you need to take, is what I'm hearing. There's a different path or something else. Okay. Well, you definitely have determination and focus. Look at that. We have the Chariot coming out here. It's Cancer energy. That's the next sign coming up. Oh, the Star. Aquarius. Look at that. With the stars and looking and maybe dreaming. 5 of Cups. Not for you. Something just didn't work out. And that's okay. It just wasn't. No, it just, yeah, that's fine. It wasn't for you. There's something else. That's that something else. The bartender there has those other 2 cups. And it sucks, especially if you were thinking it was for you, it's what you thought you wanted. The universe is kind of like, it's almost like I saw an image of a child with a toy and the universe taking it back and saying, no, not that one. And the kid being really upset. I'm not calling you a child or anything, but that's the vision that I'm getting. 8 of Swords. The 4 of Swords. Air energy coming in here. And the Sun. Okay. Nice. I am so glad this came out. Because that really, when the Sun card comes out, it makes the whole reading good. It's now a good steps read. So that was a blessing in disguise right there. A blessing in disguise. And that's just what it is. All right. So it could be that you were well on your way, very focused on having something. We have the Chariot, focus, determination, victory. We do see worry here crossing you, but it didn't stop you. You know, that's interesting. You just plowed right through this. Maybe there was self-doubt there. Maybe there was, and I tend to push through that too. Like I can just see that red. It fueled your fire even more. Something to prove to yourself there, Taurus. You see that red, I think of the bull just charging ahead. That's what we have here in the face of your own anxiety. Um, so these things motivate you is what I'm hearing. And I'm like that too, even though I'm Sagittarius. If something seems daunting, or the reason why I studied sculpture whenever I was in college is because I knew they'd be teaching things that were kind of, like welding and stuff like that. I wasn't necessarily scared of it, but I was intimidated by it. And I didn't want to be intimidated by it anymore. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go do that and learn it. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I'm feeling here. That I don't know why I'm laughing. It's just the energy I'm getting from this. It's like, oh, yeah, okay. I may not know everything I need to know about this, but you just literally charged right ahead, right through that energy, and just, you know, that red is what I'm getting. It didn't stop you. It didn't stop you at all. And so you were, I feel like, shooting for a star, hoping, dreaming that this was going to happen. Now, I'm not sure what this was about yet. It's not really clear. Um, but it felt, whatever this was, it felt very far away. And maybe it took a lot of your energy. I don't know. We have the four swords crossing it. There's a bit of a bit of sadness is coming in, like needing a rest. Like I feel like you were just going full bore, just really almost wearing yourself out, chasing this dream, this idea, until you just couldn't go any further. I feel like you just ran your excuse me, I feel like you just ran your tanks empty is what I'm feeling here. And where you were forced to take a rest. So you could have just worked yourself into a place where maybe you weren't all that healthy. That's what I'm getting. I'm not sure how that would come out for you, but maybe just um I'm I don't know. This is weird for me because I always have an ember burning. I always have a little bit of energy, but this feels like you literally ran your tank out of gas chasing this, you know? And I don't know if it was this is regarding the dream, or whatever it was you were chasing there that felt very distant. It's quite possible that it didn't work out, not the way you expected. Okay? We have the 5 of cups here. So it may be that you did reach your destination. It did happen, but it just wasn't what you thought it was going to be, is what I'm getting. I'm getting a lot of disappointment here, and that sucks, especially if you put all that energy into it. Believe me, I know. Um, go to college and you get a degree and certification in something, and then when you go do that job and it's not meant for you, and it's not that you're not good at it, it's not that you're not knowledgeable, but it's just not a good fit. I've been there. And that is really sad, because you put all this effort, work, and energy into something that you thought was going to be right, then it wasn't. And you got to wonder, why does that happen? Well, that journey was important. That journey provided you clarity, you know. It brought you a lot of wisdom too. There's a lot of wisdom here. You worked through your fears and worries. It showed you your true strength, I think, and your ability to go after things and really just put yourself into it. So I think there's a lot of clarity here over, you know, hindsight being 2020, um, is what that journey meant for you and why you needed to experience it. And it may be that, people that came across your path that you thought were against you, maybe if you look back, you thinking, oh, well, you know what, maybe they were right. Maybe that wasn't a good fit for me, and then you can actually start looking at it from a different perspective. Well, and instead of like hating that person and wishing they would just, fly off the face of the earth, you might think, well, you know what? They actually did me a favor. I wasn't a good fit for that, and then you can see it differently. And you're like, you know what? They saw something that maybe they didn't even realize they were seeing it. They could have been, acting in their own narcissistic way or whatever, but in reality, they were helping steer you towards a better path. I hope that makes sense. But that's how I like to look at things. I like to look at things differently. And I've been able to do that in my life with people that I thought were against me. Haven't given enough time and clarity and distance here again. Seeing things from afar, we have distance here with those two stars. You, it just makes more sense, right? Five of Swords. We have the Four of Wands. You stay right there. And the Emperor. Woohoo! Some Aries energy. Let me fix this. I know it's going to topple. So the Five of Swords there, I'm kind of getting that feeling of just getting back on the horse. You know, we got to get back into it. Can't really stop. All right, let's see what's crossing it. King of Wands. Okay. Leo energy. Three of Wands on the Four of Wands. My goodness. And the Death card. Okay, so wow, Taurus. You're still in an energy of I feel like you're kind of you've picked yourself up and dusted yourself off. You know, it's there are no failures, right? It's a learning experience. It taught you something about yourself and what you can achieve, you know, when you really set your mind to it. And we have taking risk here because the King of Wands, the fire signs are risk takers. He's protected from, you know, well, from taking, he's protected while he takes risks. And we see that coming up here. So you're going into this entrepreneurial phase or just visionary, a lot of ideas, inspiration coming to you right now. This is calling on you to be more outgoing, you know, or just we see taking charge here because we have the emperor and we have this king. He's a leader, you know, and so there's an element here of taking a risk again. It's like a calculated risk though, because we have the sun card, right? That's what I'm feeling here. This is you that maybe didn't work out. And the thing about this is people that have really successful businesses, sometimes the first business they open failed, or I say failed, just didn't work. But they take what they learned from that and they go open another one. And they will keep doing it until something works. And that's what I'm seeing here. There is this I'm not going to give up spirit here. I'm just going to keep going. If something isn't for me, I'm going to find something that is. You know, we've got that fortune cookie. And we have the chessboard. So you're learning so much about yourself in this game of chess here that we're seeing play out, you know. Now you know how that situation played out, what it meant for you. We have the Four of Wands crossed by the Three of Wands. We have fours are about stability, and this is about commitments, partnerships, and expansion. So you're really, I feel like you're thinking about present moment, but also future. You know, you're wanting, and kings are about stability, right? And that's what I'm feeling here. I don't feel like this is a finish line energy. I don't think we're there yet. I think we're just getting started again, you know? So I really like this energy right here. It's very promising. It's very hopeful, you know, especially with that wands, that spirit energy. And now we have this emperor energy. I feel like this is you, Taurus, male or female, doesn't matter. This is all the kings combined now, with an emphasis, I think, on the wands aspect. That fiery, go get it kind of personality. And so this emperor is ready at a moment's notice. It is absolutely ready to go. But something within you is transforming. I'm not sure what yet. Maybe you're you're transforming into this emperor energy of just really being sovereign, being the boss of your life, you know, and the direction you are going. That could be, or it could be a Scorpio coming in, maybe, possibly, for some of you. Could be as simple as that. But I'm feeling more of a transformation into that energy. All right, let's see what's in the future energy here, Taurus. It is a very fascinating reading. Very dynamic. That's the readings this week. All right, let's see what we have. Oh, Nine of Swords. That's fine. You're coming out of that cycle of thinking because we have the Eight of Swords there, Nine of Swords here. I think you have what I'm seeing here. We have the Knight of Pentacles, Virgo energy, and now the Nine of Wands, Saggy energy. There could be a tendency for you, Taurus, to have a little bit of self-doubt, to have these moments ever so briefly. This one flipped over. That worry you. But you don't stay in it. You refocus your mind. Ooh, Judgment, more Scorpio energy. And the Four of Cups there. I think you're motivated by that energy in a weird way, isn't it? How can you be motivated by, the swords? I don't. So this is what I'm seeing here because we have the star twice here and the sun. So you're destined for greatness, Taurus. That's what we know here. And so in the beginning, when that Eight of Swords, that worry started to creep in, you just kind of plowed through it, just like a bull, the toro, and the red flag. You just went right through it. And this is showing up again in your future energy. This Nine of Swords, this is all mental. We know that. We know that it's not real. And I think you have this ability to refocus on what's important to you. I'm not exactly sure your methodology, but what I like to say with the Nine of Swords is get it out of you, write it down. What is something that is potentially, harmful, something that is a true concern, a real worry, a real fear? Is it affecting you right now? Is it being harmful to you? Can you fix it? And then write everything down, because this is a card of Gemini and it's about communication, right? And language. So you want to get these things out of you by journaling. I've said that many times. And really look at it and what is fixable and what isn't, and let the rest go. But what I see here with this star energy crossing it is I see you focusing back again on your hopes and dreams and being in alignment with your higher self is what I'm seeing here with this water right here. It's like the collective energy. And I'm just not worried about it at all. I sometimes when I see the 8 and 9 of Swords come up in a reading, I'm like, oh no, but we have the Sun card, we have clarity, and maybe it's that this transition into, well, there could be two different things happening here. You're either transitioning into a more powerful leadership role, or you might be releasing it and having less leadership. That could be a transformation as well, because we have that transformation crossing it. It could go either way. Maybe you're delegating more responsibility to others, but either way, over here, if that brings you any Nine of Swords energy here, it's not going to last long. It's not going to last long at all, because your hopes and dreams are so bright. They're so intense that kind of energy just can't exist in that frequency. It just doesn't. And so we have this card here, the Knight of Pentacles. It is slow moving energy, but it's still progress. It's still making steps towards putting down roots somewhere if you haven't. It could be a new idea. That's the Ace of Pentacles. It could be something new you're trying to plant or start, because we do have this card of commitment and partnerships here. So this is in your future, slow progress, and this Judgment, more Scorpio energy. A second chance to do this again, a second chance at your dreams. It for whatever reason, if it didn't work out there, it's saying, I feel like the energy is coming around now that it is the right time It wasn't for you then, but maybe it is for now in some different way, is what I'm feeling. That's what I'm feeling there. And so this, I think, is an interesting energy. We have the Wounded Warrior and the Four of Cups. I think this is kind of just a part of you. You've definitely been through a lot. We've seen that here. Okay. The Wounded Warrior, the Sagittarius energy, has always got the torch burning, inspiration. It's a never give up kind of energy, kind of similar to the Ten of Wands. This one is looking towards the future, thinking about the next steps. It's that chess. It's that game of chess. If you think about a warrior and on the battlefield, and they almost like football and stuff like that, they try to anticipate the enemy, or the opponent, whatever you want to call it, other people. They see patterns, they see things like that, and so you're thinking ahead now again. And I think with the crossing the Four of Cups is you're trying to anticipate anywhere you might become bored or dissatisfied with your choices. You're thinking ahead. You're being very thoughtful. You're thinking about how your decisions now, especially with that Knight of Pentacles and looking for a place to put down roots, you're trying to almost fortune tell. Look at this and that. Do you see that? That's the assessing here. Wow, I just noticed that connection. You're looking at the future, trying to see if this is going to happen. But you can, if you get bored with something, just change it. If you're dissatisfied with your choices, do something new, something different. I think you're trying to anticipate this almost, but try not to focus on that. To not be bored, that's kind of weird that you would be thinking about that. That's kind of bizarre in a way, but I guess maybe not. Maybe you get bored really easily. That might be something that worries you. That boredom or it could be that because some choices didn't work out, you might be thinking, is that going to happen again in the future? Don't worry about it. That's all I'm going to say. Just don't worry about it. Look to the future in the terms of what you want to explore and find out. So we have Goddess here, healing feminine energy. Lion, look at that. You have a lot of Leo here. Harness the loyal and protective aura of the lion and charge ahead magnificently, and you definitely are, Skull. Hidden secrets can harm you. I feel like that's more of being just honest with yourself. Teapot, deep friendship with someone of the same sex. And we have teardrops. Great personal sorrow. We see that here in your recent past, but don't worry about it. I mean, that's past. You learned a lot from that situation. I think you've already let it go. You're moving forward. But there's a tiny, tiny little piece of you that might be is it going to happen again? Am I going to be disappointed? I don't think so. Taurus. I don't see that here. I wouldn't even think about that for a second. Okay, Taurus, let me know if this resonated with you. Hit that like button, share, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.